G'day guys, Darren Henderson here. On today's MXTV Mechanical Tip, we're going to talk about repacking a 4-stroke silencer. There's a lot of misconception about when you should repack your silencer. As a rule of thumb, 20 to 30 hours is probably quite good. If you're riding in really heavy conditions, a lot of sand and that sort of stuff that can really generate a lot of heat, particularly in a modern silencer because of all the silencing inside with new noise restrictions and everything, your service intervals probably are a little bit shorter than what they used to be. The system we're going to use today to repack is Brendan's own KX250F system. It's got about 20 hours on it so far. All right, let's get into it and get this thing apart. Basic tools you may need. A vise always comes in handy, preferably with some soft jaws on it so you can get that bracket clamped in nice and tight. You'll generally want a rubber mallet. Some silencers are actually put together with hex head bolts, and some silencers are actually put together with rivets as well. So obviously you'll need a drill and some rivets to put it back together if it's a riveted type. If it's a screw-in type, generally they're a Allen head. The threads on them aren't very deep, so you want good tools. Otherwise you'll be stripping them out, which we've all done before. With just about any silencer, what you'll find is you'll actually start pulling it apart from the front of the silencer, not the rear. So you'll be basically working from where the mid-pipe slides into the silencer. So what we do, we get all these bolts out, and then what we do is we need to maneuver it apart. So sometimes you'll need a mallet, sometimes you won't. Okay, so now we'll get the old packing off. So just a Stanley knife down through there. We've got the tape cut. Then obviously we need to check out the inside of it, just make sure that the internals are still okay. So what you'll have is you've got a core in there that the muffler packing wraps around. You want to make sure that that core is still in great nick. Okay, so now we've got our packing that we're going to wrap around the silencer. It's in its own little bag so you don't have stuff flying everywhere, makes it a lot easier. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to lay some tape out on the bench for when we actually wrap the packing around, just to hold it in place. Makes it a lot easier to assemble back into the can. It doesn't need to be high temp, it just needs to be a good old-fashioned masking tape. Then we get our core. We'll just put another one down through the centre there, now that it's on, just for safekeeping. Now what we need to do is just get that inserted back inside the silencer. It helps to have something like this you can actually put down, so it gives yourself a bit of a guide. You can then line the two centres up, and it just makes life a lot easier. We just need to push that home, not forgetting our band here. So always good to start at the very bottom one thing, so have that band wrapped around. Okay guys, there we have it, a freshly repacked silencer. Probably the last thing you need to do, last thing I suggest, just a little bit of high temp silicone, just rub it around that edge there. It's not an essential, but certainly a good way to finish them off. Okay guys, just remember, noise does not equal power. A quieter silencer will keep your neighbours happy, keep more tracks opened, and you'll actually gain power from repacking your silencer.